it's Rachel and Malu, and today we're going to work on loose leash walking. I know that when I got his leash, he was pretty excited and pulling on it pretty tight as we were coming in here. I know he misses you guys a lot, so that's part of it. But we wanted to teach him some manners to walk nicely on a leash, and respectfully, you don't want him pulling you around. And because if he is ahead of you and pulling like this, it's possible on a walk that he could get into something you don't want him to get into, something that might be dangerous for him. And also, if another dog were to come out of nowhere, it would be harder for you to get control of him and get him safely by you in case he went crazy with the other dog or the other dog was aggressive towards him. If he's right here with you, you can interfere with the other dog some more safely so that both of you can be safe in a situation like that. So there are a number of things that you can do to practice loose leash walking with him. You might need to use a combination of them or whatever works for the situation. So like if you're dropping him off here, what I think is one of the best ways, since it's not that far from the car here to the office to drop him off, is whenever he starts pulling, make him sit. So, here. Sit. Good boy. And you don't, I know he's whining and he's pretty excited right now, but we're working on leash walking, so we'll deal with that later. Yeah, practice later. So when you start walking with him, if he starts pulling, just pull him back, sit. And you don't get to walk anywhere else until he sits. And so that will teach him some self-control and realize that he's not getting anywhere any faster by pulling. It's taking more time because he has to sit and wait and be patient. So that works well, like, walking into here, if you're walking into Petco, kind of a short distance, just every time he starts pulling, make him sit, make him focus. If you want to work on the whining too, like he was whining, this can also work, that he doesn't get to go until he's sitting and he's quiet, and then his reward for sitting quietly is you get to keep walking. So that's one thing to try with him. Also, another thing that I know Stephanie uses is just switching directions, which, this is an enclosed area, and so it's kind of hard to demonstrate, and he's not pulling too much in here. But if you're walking along, as soon as he starts pulling, just turn around. And also with a loose leash like this, and if you have a little bit of extra, it makes it easier to give corrections. A dog pulling hard on their leash and having that constant pressure, you can't just pull back and give them more pressure. It doesn't really work as well because they're doing that to themselves anyway, and that's kind of, it's not much different. And so if you have the leash short enough to where you can give a pop, I'm not going to yank on him right here now while he's just sitting quietly, because that's something what we want. But maybe move the leash up under his ears. He's a little more sensitive there. And it doesn't hurt him. It just kind of gets his attention. And you want to use it as a correction. And so if he's pulling on it and you're pulling him back like this, that's not a correction. It's just constant pressure. You just want to do a quick pop and a firm one that he will get right away and kind of get his attention. So if you're walking and he's pulling, just give him a pop and turn around. As soon as he starts to pull, give him a pop and turn around. And walk the other way. Do it like that. That's more for practice. If you're out taking him for a walk for exercise, it might not work too well if you guys are, keep going back and forth. And that's why just when you're walking, if you walk with a little tighter leash, about like this works well. You can walk casually, and if he starts to pull, just pull the leash straight up like this. It's already going down. I mean, you don't have to, it doesn't have to go through your hand. If he starts pulling, you have more control, right, like this. And also, I don't know if he's done any heeling at all, but heeling is something we can work on here if you'd like, to where whenever you're walking, you start, Malu, sit. Good boy. When you start with the foot closest to him. You say heel, and give him a little tug around like that. And once he learns the command heel, he'll know that heel means he's right close to you. And every time you stop with the heel, you always put him in a sit. And so if you practice that kind of thing with him, he should pick up on it to know that even if you stop to talk to a friend that you see on your walk or something like that, that doesn't mean that he can still go off and be pulling you in all different directions like that. So with a combination of making him sit whenever he pulls and wait till he's sitting quietly and patiently before you continue, changing directions with walking, giving him a quick pop as a correction, and working on heel. Those are all things that you can practice to get him a little better on leash. I hope these things help and make it easier for you guys. This was Rachel and Malu working on loose leash walking.